Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the 72 Gran Torino Restoration Project. Today I went ahead and mounted up the flywheel, the inspection cover, the little tin inspection cover that goes between the engine and the flywheel. Torque converter's on, brand new. Ended up going with an OEM replacement for now because of the stall converter, the high stall converter I got in there, the output shaft, or excuse me, the input shaft that goes into the crank bearing behind here was just way too big, and I just don't want to have to swap the crank out or that output shaft of the crank itself. So I went with the OEM replacement. See how that one rides. Last episode we did the valve covers. They're all bolted up with the gaskets. I put all the exhaust studs on for the headers. So now I already prepped the transmission by getting the output shaft of the transmission all greased up. I'm going to lift up the engine and roll the transmission into place, and let's see if we can get this thing mounted up and hopefully lower it into the car today. Let's get you married up. Okay, I got one more here. Awesome. All right, training's mounted up. Just got to get the two lower bolts on either side and clean off this transmission. It's pretty dirty from sitting out. It was covered, but I'm gonna dust everything off, get those last two bolts in, and then we'll clean up inside of here, get the headers lined up, and let's lower this engine in. Let's do it. Now you're in there. Okay. Okay. While the engine's in there, obviously not sitting properly, I gotta adjust this balance to lift it up a little bit, lift up the back of the transmission, and then slide the rest of this guy in and see what's going on. It's tough to do. It's tough to put an engine into a car by yourself because you're trying to align it, balance it, do all that good stuff. So let me take a break here and see what I'm looking at hitting underneath. All right, so the motor is in place. Working it with the cherry picker, right here, the engine hoist, and I use the transmission jack, which I put away already, but it's over here on this side. I use one of these transmission jacks to help me roll basically the back of the motor mounted up to the transmission. It gave me the ability to move the motor in, and I was able to get it in by prying off the front frame right here, this front member here, pushing on the harmonic balancer bolt, and I was able to roll the engine back in place, slowly lowering it down into place. So right now, I also mounted up the transmission cross member. So let's see if you can see it, but it's right there. I just mounted it up. I got the exhaust bungeed up out of the way so it's not dragging. But I just mounted up the transmission cross member. It's not bolted to the transmission mount yet, but I just kind of wanted to get it up. So now that I got the motor in, tomorrow I'll work on getting it lined up so I can get these bolts through to have the motor mounts sitting properly. And from there we'll start working on mounting up the rest of the engine. Once I get the engine in place and this thing running, then I can start working on the body work. I got the fenders here, but I'm only replacing the driver's side fender, this guy right here. This one's getting replaced. I don't know if you saw it earlier, but you could see the fenders rotted down here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that fender off eventually, but before I mount up the hood and everything, I want to get the motor done. Then I'll take this driver's side fender off, replace it with this guy right here, and then continue working on the body after that. I'm just so happy that I got the engine in place. Makes me feel good. I'm going to take the engine balance off and start getting motivated to get this thing done. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Keep you updated.